Welcome back. This is the 100,000 buy-in.
Is this fine here? I don't know where the cards go, but this is okay.
Super high roller.
Yeah.
So where's the cards to show?
Yeah.
How you doing, Finton?
Here, right?
Henry, what an absolute pleasure to have you back, sir.
Thank you very much. I just want to say that I was tuning in for the entire time that you and Matthias were together, and that was some world-class chat you guys had going on there. He,
Oh, what a nice guy. I really want him back.
yeah, top bloke, really is.
Thanks for inviting him in.
No, he's a good friend, and he wanted to come with me, but I was like, I don't want to leave Finton out. You know, you don't want to leave the old man out.
What an absolute gent. And I guess you know this guy, Ollie Sheminan.
Shemion.
That's him.
Shemion, Shemion.
Derniger in the big blind here from Austria.
Ollie Shemion. What an absolute crusher. Flops a wheel draw after opening from the hijack. And Derniger defended his big blind with the 9-3 of spades. Bottom pair, backdoor spades to go along with it. Gonna call at least one street.
Did he river a set?
What?
He rivered a set?
No,
or
flop
he...
set.
Oh, he did. Wow.
I love the two pair. Oh no, I hit.
And it is a spade that rolls off Finton on the turn. And Shemian improves to an open-ended straight draw. Interesting turn card. And with Shemian now picking up some additional equity, I feel like he's going to fire again, and it's close to pot by the looks of it, Finton.
Pair threes in the lead with the flush draw. Derniger, I can see continuing here.
Around 1.5 left. Where's something behind it?
He does have the chips. He's playing 4 million behind.
Tough to know he's in the lead here with bottom pair, but that 6 of spades on the turn is certainly going to help things out a little bit, and he does call second barrel, and depending on the river card, I mean, I was about to say will Shemian empty the clip, but he gets there, and a 1.2 million in the middle, 1.6 behind. What sizing does he go for here? 30% pot, targeting some weak Jack X type hands, or does he go for the overbet to really polarize his range, to maybe get looked up even lighter, you know?
I don't think either way, Henry, he's going to get called here.
Oh, 100% agree. Like, he's never getting called.
Yeah.
I think if Shemian obviously knew that Derniger's only got bottom pair, he would reconsider his sizings, but it looks like that's a hefty bet he's cutting out.
550.
Just about half size of the pot. 1.2 out there. 550 bet, but no chance of Derniger calling here. This is the super high roller 100,000 euro buy-in, and did you see the statistics for amount of players entered?
Go on, surprise me.
74.
Really? Damn. I'm gonna owe you 10 euros then, aren't I? I'm gonna have to reduce it anyway from the amount that you currently owe me. But yeah, how did that go with having Matthias in the booth?
Great.
So you guys were talking about a lot of things in the past.
Really good guy.
About his final table.
I can see that he's a real passion for the game and involved in the grassroots poker in Holland. promoting amateur poker throughout the pubs. No buy-ins. It's illegal
Yep.
for money to be involved. They simply play for fun, and I believe they've up close on 10,000 players in their community. But we're watching the €100,000 buy-in. It's hang here on the button. Makes it 110,000. Ace King suited. Adipur in the big blind position. Defends with 9-5 and hits second pair, but top pair, top kicker for a hang. And I can see Adipur calling at least one street here.
Yeah, 100% agree with you, Finton. He's going to appeal at least one street here after defending the big blind with 9-5 of diamonds.
Does have the backdoor diamonds. And a backdoor straight. 130,000 defend, and now that diamond comes on the turn, and it should keep Adipur interested here. Pair and a flush draw, but top pair, top kicker. Wang.
Yeah, not much behind Finton, as you can see. I think just 940k. So just under 2x pot. Dicey turn card as well. Some two pairs get there, gut shots get there. 7-6 gets there. So yeah, like 8-10, 10-9, Jack 7. He does fire out a bet, and I mean there's 8-90 in the middle already. If Hadper calls, he's going to have a less than a half-size pot bet behind. Needs to fade a diamond, a 9 or a 5. It's the 8 of spades on the river. Now, interestingly, Hadper does have some 8s that call flop and turn. 8 Jack, 8-7, potentially even 8 queens suited.
Oh, finally, we won hands.
Snap fold from Adipur.
Finally. I'm a little bit
Viewers
scared.
may
No, I don't scare me.
know the flag. I'm not really sure where it's from.
About to find out. Let's have a look.
I hope I heard a step call.
45 from 72 players
Second.
currently registered,
No, it's king.
and the average stack 3.2 million.
Only had the S king.
Okay. Still a good hand.
Couple hours left in today's play. This is a 3-day event. Oli Shimenon.
He's from Iran. Best live cash, 1.381 million.
That doesn't seem like an Iranian flag.
Total live earnings, 2.4 million. But what I have found out whilst I was away is that the flags that are provided, obviously we saw Fedor Holtz with the Austrian flag, even though he is from Germany. The registrations that they players fill out, they have to put their country of residency. So not where they're actually born or where they're from originally, whereas Hendon Mob and Poker News, they use where they're actually born from. But for registering, it's your country of residency for tax purposes, obviously.
Could be better.
If that makes sense.
That makes total sense, Henry. And appreciate you clearing that one up.
1-5.
You have more.
1-5. 1. Yeah, I just went up.
Yeah.
Ziegler in the lead.
1-7, 1-8,
Second
1-8.
pair.
Yeah.
Good shot for Derniger.
It looks like we've got a new player joining the table in seat 3. Clinton?
Didn't see him yet, Henry.
What's up?
No, all good. Pair 10's good here. Ziegler calling the river bet, and straight away Derniger saying you win. Pair of 10s scoops the pot, and I don't believe it, it's our good friend Alexei Rybin. And our viewers from the last stream would have watched Alexei Rybin. He was up to about 4 million in chips, and he just kept running into the aces.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, I get the feel from this guy, Alexei. He's here for fun. He's playing this like it's a £10 rebuy in your local club.
No gamble, no future.
And made an incredible 4-bet with the
that's the best. That's
ace 3 suited.
That's one of the best comments I've ever seen in Twitch chat. That is one of the best comments I've ever seen.
And who's that from?
Just the
78 KB. I mean, it was some crack. He doubled up his fellow Russian. I mean, first orbit blind on blind. Filatov doubled him up. Next orbit, exact same situation, doubled him up. Doubled up Steve O'Dwyer.
Yeah.
And then blasted off to Ido, the
Spaniard.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty brutal to watch. And then finally Steve O'Dwyer finished him off. Ace 10 versus ace 9, but he kept running into it. I mean, I felt for the guy. He's not afraid to play, and I'm wondering here, will he play the same style now that he's rebought?
Thank you. Great.
Appreciate the kind words as well, New Heartman. Much appreciated. So is this bullet number 2, do you think, or maybe bullet number 3?
It's for sure the second bullet I seen, but who knows what happened on the outer tables. But I tell you one thing about this guy, Rybin from Russia. He's not afraid to put his chips in. And genuinely, he's playing this like it's a $50 competition in the local casino. And I think you got to have that, Henry, you know, that attitude if you want to compete with these guys.
I'd say so. I would say so. You know, just casually 4-bet with the old ace 3 of hearts out of the small blind.
Yeah, Ido just flatter with the aces in position. Fairness, he let out when he hit bottom pair and then put the handbrake on. I thought he was going to put it all in. Chip leader on this table is Adipur and Marcus Derniger, both playing about 3.5 million. The short stack, 31 big blinds, and it's not short, is it? 31 bigs.
No, not
Becker,
at all.
the German, and that is Alexei Rybin, who you see taking a seat. First to act here is the Party Poker ambassador from Canada, Kirsten Bicknell, under the gun, 10-6. Now in the hijack, Derniger, the Austrian.
Yeah, 73 entries so far. Certainly going to be a big payday. We will get those exact payouts once late registration is closed. But for now, Becker, one of the shorter stacks, as Finton just pointed out, playing around 30 big blinds on the button with ace 10 suited and in great shape against Derniger's exact holding. And wow. Ziegler waking up in the big blind with the ace jack of hearts. Does let it go though. Power poker, Finton. The power of the 3-bet.
3-bet in position. Ace jack. Snap folds and the original razor. Derniger, who we see involved quite a bit, a lot of action. With the German on the button taking down the pot, and this field is littered with Germans. Every table, at least one or two. They've been crushing this super high roller scene for some years now, and this is my guy, Ribbon, Alexei Ribbon, folding out. Love to see him get a run in this.
Yeah, crushing the high roller scenes, and then Justin Bonomo happened and kind of put a stop to it. But he's not here for the World Series at Poker Europe so far. You never know. Some of the players we saw flying today, Sam Trickett arrived, Party Poker ambassador, was greeted by our good friends Warren and Michael, and we saw him standing over by the feature table. I believe he's going to be jumping into this at some point. He may have already bought in. Becker now checks with the king-9 off after opening from the cutoff, and Ollie Shemin flat calling on the button in position with the suited ace.
125.
Backdoor hearts. And as you love to say, Finton, backdoor straight to go along with it, just in case.
Germany v Germany, and Ollie taking down the pot. Becker folding out. That is the player standings. Ziegler, seat 1, Bicknell 2, Ribbon 3, Hanging 4, Derniger 5, Adipur, seat 6, and then the two Germans, Becker and Ollie, in 7 and 8. First to act here is Hong under the gun. Becker in the hijack, King 10. $110,000. Blinds 25,000, 50,000. Ollie in the cutoff with the 7-5 suited. Folds butted. Ziegler on the button with the real hand. The jacks. Playing 2.8 million. $325,000 3-bet, and it looks like Ribbon called the 3-bet here. Incredible stuff. The suited ace, not closing the action. It's going to be trouble. He's hit a pair here, and he's check calling at least one street here, and not really crazy about this play, given that he wasn't closing the action. Henry, he was.
There may be trouble ahead, Finton. Backdoor diamonds.
Thank you.
Running quads. 2-pair draw as well, as I like to call it.
Snap calls here. And I fear Ribbon is digging a hole here for himself. The 5 on the turn will slow things down. Snap check by Ribbon. And Ziegler with the good shot straight. May slow down, but I'm sure that Ziegler is thinking the range of hands that Ribbon is calling it is way higher than ace 8 deuce on the river. Ribbon checks. 1.3 million behind. He's invested 600,000 in this pot almost.
I have to assume if
Yeah, I know.
Ziegler goes for value, he's.
Yeah, I thought he would, but. And if we just see
Excuse me.
Kirsten Bicknell just looking there at the hands, and you could see a little bit surprised. She's just looking over at her opponent, kind of wondering why he was calling the 3-bet there with the ace 8, not closing the action. But
Maybe she's never played with him before, Finton.
I don't think she has, no. But Alexei Ribbon here, 1.4 million, 28 bigs.
On turn. No, please no. No call, no more call. Call is weak. And don't give me good price. Good price costs me like a
Derniker,
70% of my stack.
King 8 of diamonds. First to speak.
Again, give me good price.
Action player, this guy.
115.
He opens playing 3.5 million.
115, right?
Ollie.
115. Yeah, 115.
9-7 suited in the mocha now. Ziegler
That's good.
folds and
Classic price.
Kirsten on the button folds. And Ribbon
Reasonable price.
with the 5-2 calling the raise in the
Listen.
small blind position.
Biggest cash pot I've ever won. 5-3 offsuit, okay?
Yeah, how's your cash game career going to date?
Yeah, it's going better than yours. Huang in the big blind with the Queen Jack of clubs. Very playable hand. 395,000 chips in the middle. Ruben going to be first to act, and
He's connected here with a flush draw. And
GG.
a good shot straight.
All depends on whether or not Derniger continues here. And he kind of reminds me of a young Andrew Roble in a way. You see any
Absolutely, for
similarities?
sure, yeah.
And he does continue, and surely Ruben's going to pile this.
Yeah.
Now Huang, top pair, decent kicker, backdoor clubs.
So this is a race to 325,000. I think Wang probably folds this,
Yeah,
and it gets the job done.
he does indeed.
Ribbon with the 5 high in the small blind. Interesting play there, Alexei from Russia. And he's here to gamble, enjoying his time here in the super high roller.
I'll go and have a chat with him afterwards, see if I can sign him up to the No Gamble, No Future Club, or society, I should say. It's a great society, Finton.
Well, I tell you one thing, you have a prime candidate there, Alexei Ribbon. Forcing out top pair there, who was squeezed out of it with the pre-flop razor, making a continuation bet, and then Alexei
You want friendly talk?
raising with his flush draw and good shot.
I love. Sorry, Finton. I was about to say. I was just going to say I love Huang, man. He's all laughs.
Yeah, he seems like a real character.
I'm sorry, man. Trying to control myself.
Something like that. A little bit of more than 1.5.
And news in the chat that there is a 1K, 2K PLO game running. Chat is correct. It certainly is. Finton jumped in for a quick orbit on the break. We're up 60, 70K in that 15 minutes.
They won't give me a seat, Henry. No chance of a seat. Derniger in position. Wang checking here. Derniger has connected. Check by Wang, and now Derniger just takes down the pot. Button will move. The chip leader on our table will now be in the big blind. Adipur posts his big blind and the ante. And first act will be Becker. Ollie opening here with the ace queen. And now Ziegler with the eights. Derniger, ace queen, small blind, suited. 3-bet incoming, I believe. Strong enough just to flat here. And that's what he does. 120,000 just flat calls, and now.
Wow.
The big blind. Ace deuce suited. I mean, the eights are in great shape here versus ace queen, ace deuce, ace queen.
Queen high flop with a couple of clubs out there to make things interesting.
And how,
wow.
How does it come? I don't understand.
Wow. Middle set for Ziegler. Top pair. Fairly decent kicker in terms of how relative kickers are, Finton. And Ollie Shemian with the ace of diamonds as well. And
how does that flop happen? One ace left in the deck, just 2 eights.
Any action flops about Finton?
So interesting now, Ziegler with the middle set. Does he just flat call here the 175,000?
It's a really good question. He is in position, Finton, but what he doesn't want to do is he doesn't obviously want to price in the blinds, which might have some type of draw. I mean, there are a lot of scary turn cards that could obviously come, and he might find himself in a difficult spot, but he does decide to flat call. And now
I think, well, I was going to say this would be a prime candidate here for a 3-bet Derniger, but he just opts to flat call. And now in the blinds, ace deuce, Adipur.
I think he can let that one go. Continuation bet from the pre-flop aggressor, and 2 calls. Ace rag, no good. Wow.
This is just...
Wow.
It's too much. Top 2 versus middle set. Million in the pot.
I was just about to say, Finton, like, whatever turn card comes, Shemian's going to check, and then Ziegler's going to call, and it's going to go check, call, and then fold the river. But now with the queen of spades on the turn, top 2 for Shemian and Derniger, 1 million in the middle already. I mean, what sizing do you go for here? You go around half pot, 550, or maybe close to 60%. Setting up for a river jam.
And I mean, it's a brutal situation for both Ollie and Derniger.
And you know the sick thing is, Finton, is that Derniger is going to be last to act here. So
Yeah,
Shemian does go. He's setting up for a river jam, as you can understand. 675, and then if Ziegler flats here, what on earth is Derniger going to do? Just have to jam, right?
no aces left in the deck, and just one queen. The eights have a lock on this hand. And one of the viewers saying there was a queen folded pre-flop.
Okay.
I can't remember this.
I don't remember there being a queen folded, but
Queen 9 was folded pre-flop. Oh, this is sick stuff.
Chad is on it, and he moves all in for 3.2 million, covers both opponents, and Finton, we could potentially see a 10 million chip pot right now. Derniger, top 2. The action's gone as followed. Shemian open from under the gun +1. Ziegler fat called. Derniger called. The flop went check, check. Bet, call, call, fold. Turn's gone check. Huge bet from Shemian, putting in 25% of his stack, 70% of the pot, and now Ziegler's come over the top.
And I mean, it's just a matter of pick your customer here, because, like, I mean, if Derniger calls, well then obviously Ollie gets out of the way. But if Derniger folds here, I think Ollie will call.
It's really tough to get away from top 2 here. It really is. Especially with 2 flush draws out there, Finton. Arguably, you know, Shemian is blocking the ace-high flush, but Ziegler can flat call hands like 6-7 of spades on this flop.
From Ziegler's point of view, I mean, the customer he wants, obviously, is Derniger because of the stack size he has. And he's getting, obviously, that 675,000 dead money from Ollie, who will presumably fold if Derniger goes with this.
This, for me, is hands down going to be one of the sickest.
Yeah, he puts
hands.
it in, all in. And now I think Ollie gets out of the way. And a perfect situation for Ziegler. He gets the 675,000 from Ollie, free money, and he gets the big stack that more than matches his stack. Sorry, Derniger just a slightly less than Ziegler. Incredible situation.
Look at the size
already
of this pot,
8
Finton.
million in the pot.
Wow.
And I think Ollie can fold here, but he's just doing a chip count. 1.7 million behind. Now, it's probable Ollie will try and convince himself both players have a monster combo draw.
It's tough having the ace of diamonds. It really is. Because what draws you like? Firstly, what draw is jamming, and also what draw is calling behind for 3 million chips with this? What the current blinds are? What's that? 100 plus big blinds.
Good, very good point, Henry.
So just
Derniger in the small blind may go with this with some kind of ace-8 kind of hand.
I honestly don't think so.
No, yeah,
I honestly
mean,
don't think so.
It's going to be hard. And just look at the pressure on Ollie here.
Even 6-7 of diamonds here in Derniger's spot is getting priced out with this jam. Like, just mathematically, you cannot call with 6-7 of diamonds for this many big blinds.
You're spot on.
I don't think
Henry.
Derniger's ever going to flick it in with a draw. This is absolutely insane, and I definitely think Germany is good enough to get away from this, but I think the amount of chips in the middle already, like you said, maybe thinking of a couple of hands that both players could do this with, but he does let it go.
Quality stuff, and when he sees the situation.
Yeah, world-class fold there.
8 million pot.
Really showing why he is one of the best in the world.
Ich habe mir gedacht, dass du auch jetzt Queen hast, wenn du tankst.
And yeah,
Dachte, vielleicht
Derniger just saying there, I knew you blocked ace queen there after you tank. 4 diamonds on the river. Changes nothing, and an 8 million chip pot Finton going to the German Ziegler. What a cooler. That's got to be hand of the day so far, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know
hand.
we've had some huge hands, aces against kings, stuff like that, but that...
In fairness to Ollie, he read it completely right. I mean, it's possible he could have put Ziegler on the monster combo draw, but surely then,
Wow.
with Derniger moving his chips over the line, he had to figure him for a set. Just so happened he had the exact hand, ace queen.
1 diamond. Oh, give it 2 diamonds.
Wow. Wow. A couple of really good points being pointed out there in the chat. Appreciate all of the remarks, guys. 8-8 or 5-5, the only possible hands that play this way, other than the slow played aces, obviously. But that was something else. That was a treat.
All the aces, all the queens, and the set of 8s for Ziegler, the eventual winner. 8 million pot.
Double check.
100,000 super high roller you're watching. Marcus, Derniger, top 2, put the money in. And I think if Derniger folds there, I think for sure Ollie goes with it.
Yeah. Rip.
But it's a perfect situation, like for Ziegler, because he got the bigger of the 2 stacks to call him, and he also got that original river bet from Ollie.
Short stack, short stack.
Yeah. GG.
After this hand, 1 short.
Tough spot.
No longer short.
Tough spot to get away from.
Kirsten
definitely
Bicknell.
A hand we're going to be talking about for a long time.
Do you know I folded ace diamond?
Leading out here on a 3-5-5 board.
Me.
Wang also involved on the button.
Honestly, I folded ace diamond. No, sorry. Ace. No,
Ruben's taking a nap.
What a quality character this man is.
club.
Quick power
club
nap.
and 2 club.
As I say, it's like he's in his local casino just playing a £10 competition.
Yeah. Just having a bit of fun, having a bit of a nap.
Everybody was coming. Ace was there. He was betting. He was.
Apologies for the graphics, guys. Neither player putting their cards on the reader. So we got currently sweating with both Kirsten and Huang.
275.
She is firing a second barrel here.
I believe this lady is top of the Player of the Year GPI. Female poker players. Maybe our viewers can confirm that. Kristen Bicknell from Canada.
No, no. Yep.
Tobias Ziegler now, 8 million in chips. Good for 160 big blinds.
Kristen takes that one down. We'll never know what she had.
Chip leader, Tobias Ziegler opens under the gun, King 10 suited. Bicknell getting out of the way, and our friend Ribbon folds. Wang with ace 2 folds. Adipur playing about average stack, he gets out of the way. And now into the blinds. Becker folds, and Ollie on the big blind with a suited queen. Change of dealer at this feature table you're watching. €100,000 super high roller. It is a re-entry. Blinds are 25,000, 50,000. Going to be with you for about another 90 minutes tonight. And then back tomorrow again for day 2. Should be up on 7 million plus. Oh, for sure there's over 7 million now in the prize pool. We'll get the exact details of unique players and re-entries. And it's just staggering the amount of players that re-enter. €100,000 to play. Action now on Ziegler in the big blind position. Ollie in the small blind. He connects with that ace. Ziegler with the nut low. Snap fold. Button will move, and now Bicknell, the party poker ambassador from Canada, went pretty deep in the 25k high roller, but I think missed the money. She will be on the big blind post the 50,000 and the 50,000 ante, but it's this man, Ribbon, under the gun. Expect action, and for sure he's going to open here with ace 10. $110,000 folded around to Ollie here in the button. He folds, and now chip leader gets out of the way, and it's the big blind, Kristen Bicknell, excuse my pronunciation of her first name. Kristen Bicknell from Canada will defend in the big blind position. That's 2 pair for the pre-flop raiser, who will make a continuation bet. And Kristen folds out. Pot is awarded to Ribin, the Russian, who will now be in the big blind position. He posts the ante in the middle. And will also post the 50,000 big blind chip leader on the button here. And that is Tobias Ziegler. That incredible 8 million pot. For sure will be one of the most notable hands played today. Adipur playing just above average stack. Just flat calls the 50,000. Decides to limp in here. And Ziegler on the button, chip leader, 6-4 suited.
Ole, that hand's real lucky, right? Huh? That hand, Ace Queen, you're lucky.
200,000
You were
raise.
lucky? I mean,
Bicknell folds.
no. I mean, if you
Big blind folds, and now Adipur
all you can do.
will put in the 200,000.
Depends what's lucky.
But that can be that
like almost a million.
Two players,
but that can be much
chip
tougher.
leader
Could have lost more, I guess.
Tobias Ziegler. It's bottom pair. Cannot see Adipur's other card.
I didn't like it already when he went on him.
Of course, yeah. But if he call, you feel much more comfortable.
Hit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
turn.
I guess.
And if he shove, ooh la la, ooh la la. But if you don't have ace of diamond, probably you will call. Right?
I don't know. Cannot say.
Yeah, if you
Bottom
don't have
pair,
ace of diamond,
pre-flop razor.
sure, you probably will.
Ziegler makes a continuation bet and takes down the pot. Up to 8 million now.
I would fold if I have ace of diamond.
Kristen Bicknell will now be on the button.
I have ace of diamonds.
Canadian pro just taking her seat there. Ryben on the small blind and Wang on the big blind, first to act, Adipur.
Just to try to push them far enough that he doesn't have to reach.
That's right.
Adipur limping again, and this is going to get exploited, particularly from a player like Tobias Ziegler. And again, he makes it 200,000 in the cutoff, and it's folded around now
I got confused.
to Reben with the small pair, and he makes up the 200,000. And Adipur also puts in 200,000. 700k in the pot. We go to the flop. Up and down straight for Adipur with the backdoor hearts. Reben checks the Ducks. 3 overcards out there. Adipur bets out his up and down straight and takes down the 700,000 pot. Button now moves.
Thank you.
Short stack is Wang, 1.2 million, just 24 big blinds.
Big blind.
Average stack almost 3 million. Just to give you news on that cash game running, it is not being televised at the moment, but maybe that will change, who knows. Ribbon on the button, making it 110,000. Blinds are 25, 50,000, and now Adipur with the 8 deuce off. Sorry, he's just flat called the 8 deuce. Both players miss this board. Adipur to act first. Ryben checks back. He does connect now with the turn. Adipur checks again. Bet coming in. And we will see a fast fold from Adipur. I am not sure on the flag beside Adipur's name. I believe he is from Iran, but it does not look like the Iranian flag to me. But as mentioned by my co-commentator, the players put their country of residence, and that is the flag that is displayed beside their name, and we've seen that on every feature table. It's been pointed out that certain players aren't from the country that's shown beside their name, the flag. Ace King here, Rabin, and now Adipur. Re-raise, 3-bet here. And all in. It doesn't take much for this guy to put his chips in.
Call.
Puts max pressure and a snap call. On their backs, Ace King versus Ace King. Ribbon has 2 potential flush draws, with Adipur just the 1.
Chop? No. Not yet.
Possibility of running hearts. That's why you see the 5% beside Adipur's name.
Nuts.
And that ends it. The jack on the turn gives a chop. The nut straight to both players.
Bam.
25s, please.
Bam.
25s. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
Ryben, Jack 8 suited, 110,000. Wang just moves straight in with the pocket 7s. Adipur with the 8s.
Call.
And he says call. It's an incredible table, this. You're watching a €100,000 buy-in event, and a snap call there with the 8s after an open
Ace King again.
and an all-in.
Nah. Bam.
Adipur, pocket 8s,
And full
the
big.
short stack. Huang
Bad
with the
news.
7s.
7s is doing good though.
Okay, hopefully. Come to 4, 5, 6, right?
Eights holding here, going to the river. Wang all in for his tournament life.
Good game.
Doesn't happen for him.
So where should I put this?
That's his sound device, just looking for the TV crew, who are always close by.
Okay.
Andy Tillman, the WSOP floorman, will just help the player. Adipur now up to almost 100 big blinds, just under the 5 million mark. Second in chips on this table. Chip leader, Tobias Ziegler, one of 3 German players from the remaining 6 players.
And honey?
Seat open now, and you will see another player come to the feature table. This is the WSOP. It's a €100,000 super high roller event, bracelet number 9. It's a 3-day event. We're going to be back again tomorrow, about 4 p.m. local time.
180.
Folded around to the small blind. It's Ollie here in the small blind position, who raises, and now Ziegler in the big blind with Jack 7. And he will defend in the big blind. Go to the flop. Ollie will act first with Ace 9. Both players have missed. The Ace 9 still in front. This is the short stack. Ollie, the German, versus the big stack, Ziegler, and he just folds out. Button will move. Blinds 25,000, 50,000. Please excuse the sound in the background. Obviously, one of the new players getting mic'd up, I'd imagine.
Sure.
This 100,000 buy-in event has 70 plus entries so far, but late reg still available, and this is one of the players that has multiple buy-ins. Rybin from Russia. Now action on Ahadabur. Adipur with the ace queen in the hijack. No payouts available as registration is still open, and registration will stay open until first break tomorrow. So payouts will be displayed in around 4:30 p.m. tomorrow. Main event kicks off at 12 noon, day 1A, 10,000 buy-in. The main event has a 5 million guarantee. Turbo satellite in the morning if you're in the region. 10 a.m. 10-seater at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then at 6 tomorrow evening, another mega satellite with at least 5 seats guaranteed. Final flight, day 1B on Sunday, the day after tomorrow. 5 million guaranteed for that WSOPE main event. Bracelet number 10 will be bringing you all the action from that event. But for now, you're watching the Super High Roller 100,000 buy-in. On the button, Team Pro, Party Poker Team Pro from Canada, Bicknell, with the small pair on the button. And news just in, people. I can't confirm. I'm going to have a very special guest. He's now in the building. I'm told he's coming to the booth. I'm not going to confirm it until I see him, because it's hard to believe that he's going to give up some time for us. But you're going to be pleasantly surprised. And this guy, I mean, he's all the moves. Ryban, the Russian, 3-betting here in the small blind position. This is at least his second bullet that I've witnessed. Who knows how many other bullets he's fired, and max pressure here on Bicknell. And I don't think Kristen knows what type of player this guy is, because he's only just come to this feature table, and I think Bicknell will fold out here. Too much pressure. And this guy, I'm a big fan of this guy. He's my new hero, and he does get the Party Poker Pro to fold out. And guys, it's true, he's here. My good friend, Ludo. Nice. How are you, my friend? How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. It's nice to be in the booth again.
What a pleasure. And so much has happened since we last had you here. I remember in the old part of the casino, and you joined me for some commentary on the Party Poker Grand Prix.
That was fantastic, yourself and Jesse May.
That's right, yeah, it was really good stuff.
I loved that.
But me and Jesse were in fits laughing, but you came in and you really inspired us. I'm not joking. Because we were slagging off all the players as usual, you know. And then you just came in, and it was really insightful stuff. And I still do remember that. I think it was that guy, the Slovakian, Andrei. You know the guy I'm talking about. He won 2 huge Party Poker events, 2,000 plus fields in them. Do you remember him, Andrei? He actually played in this 100k buy-in as well.
I think now that the fact you've just mentioned that he played in this 100k buy-in, I think I remember
Desert,
him, yes.
Desert, I think his second name is.
Yeah, I think now, he played the 100k, yeah.
And Ludo, tell us what's been happening, because every time I go on Twitter now, okay, and I go on my Facebook, I mean, it's great fun, because there's always something happening with you.
I'm saying I'm always dead responsive online, in the sense that I like to
fair play,
kind of like get in the mix and kind of like maybe get the wooden spoon out and just like stir it up a bit. Yeah. Like I like the banter, so I like to just get in the mix, and I don't even know sometimes what people are talking about, and I just come in and leave a comment just to get it fired up again,
just to get the fun going. Now, viewers, like this is a special occasion, because this guy, he really is an absolute gent, And you know what? He will answer any question, no holds barred, trust me, within reason. Okay? So fire through the questions. This is the Party Poker Team Pro from Scotland. And I remember back in the day when we did the UK IPT circuit at Ludo, and it was fun times back then.
They were fun times. It's a pity they've now gone. And hopefully one time they'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, stars have changed a lot, haven't they?
Well, that's the thing. I'm saying that there is a market that they obviously took away, and hopefully it will get fulfilled again. It'll get replaced, hopefully.
For sure. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is Ludovic Gillick. Have I got that right, Ludo?
Ludovic Gillick.
Gillick. Oh, Gillick. Now, don't ask me where he got the name from, because he's a Scotsman, right? Is it a German name?
My mother's German, my father's Scottish.
Okay,
but
cool.
the first name Ludovic is French.
It's French,
yeah.
Right? Okay.
There's no H in it, so it's Ludovic, which means it's a French name.
And it is him, guys. It's Ludo in the flesh, and we're watching here the 100,000 super high roller. And Ludo, we had your friend Feraldo earlier on bust out. Did he rebuy? Do you know? Did he fire a second bullet?
He's not fired so far, but he possibly might buy in tomorrow.
Will, yeah.
Because you can buy in up till tomorrow.
Yeah, it's an interesting format, but these... We had a conversation earlier on. Matthias Jonkers was in the booth, the Dutchman, and we are just talking about, the re-entries and the rebuys, and both of us were agreeing that we prefer the freeze-outs, that drama and tension, you know what I mean, with freeze-outs. You just don't get with the re-entries and the rebuys. But the higher the buy-ins, the more the players want them.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. It's kind of like a catch-22. At the same time as it takes away the prestige, which is unfortunate. Like, I would love it if the tournaments just went back to freeze-outs, where your tournament life meant so much more, and everyone was on a level playing field. Whereas, this is where the catch-22 comes in. When you're playing like a 50k or 100k buy-in, most of the guys have so much money that, in my personal opinion, if they want to keep firing, they might as well make it unlimited re-entries.
I totally agree with you, because I think these super high roller events, okay, it's about the prize pools. The buy-ins are so big, so the prize pools are so massive, and then these re-entries and multiple bullets from guys that can afford it create an even bigger prize pool.
Yeah, so the millionaire and billionaire businessmen, when they're playing a 100k buy-in or a 250k buy-in, it's like it's like them dropping a £5 note on the way to the bus, and maybe us losing in a 10k event online or something. I'm saying, like, there's no, they don't care. They just want to still be able to play. So when they bust, they want to continuously buy back in.
And I think we've seen a little bit of that here with our Russian friend at the table here, Reben. I mean, he's just playing like it's a €50 competition.
That's
in
good.
His local casino.
That's what you need. I'm saying you need at least one or two of those players at the table to make it exciting. I'm saying that guy obviously is lucky enough to be in a position where he doesn't need to worry about money, and that makes it hard for the professionals.
Yeah,
like we
totally
just
agreed.
As I was coming into the booth and I saw the 3-bet with the King 9, and then Kristen's like, what do I do with pocket threes? I've only got one move all in, and it's a pair of threes, and it's 100k buy-in.
I know.
And I'm saying, like, it just puts you on the spot. So, like, it's one of those ones. I'm saying, like, I just love to see that kind of dynamic.
Absolutely. And just while we're talking about these bigger buy-in events, do you notice, like, the percentage of businessmen, kind of recreational players? Because certainly for me, just kind of observing from the outside, like when I see the kind of small to mid buy-in events, I think the fields are just so tough, and they're just so littered with tough players. And the bigger buy-in events, yes, you have the best poker minds in the world, but you also have several kind of recreational players playing for fun.
That's the amazing thing about poker. There is like a middle, like there's no like bottom kind of thing. So, like, if you're in the middle, it's going to be tougher because the bottom guys can't really afford 5Ks and 10Ks. So it's always going to be the good regs, and then, like, the businessmen might think it's too small a buy-in, so they don't participate. to give the regs that edge that they want. So, like, to be honest, when you get the money, if you're quite intelligent with the money and you're good enough at the game, is to play these 50Ks and 100Ks where the businessmen come in and the fields are smaller. That way, if 10 or 20% of the field are businessmen or multi-millionaires, or even recreational players that know what they're doing but they have a lot of money, it gives you a lot more added incentive, like EV-wise, to be playing these fields because they're smaller, which means it's easier to win them. Even though you're playing against the best in the world, it's a lot easier to win an 80-player field than it is to win a 2,000-player field that's got a 5K buy-in.
Really good analysis here from Ludovic. And any questions, please fire them through. And yes, his accent is awesome for sure. I see a question here. Should Kristen open shove for 3-3, Ludo? I think she had about too many big blinds. At this moment in time, obviously she had like 38 big blinds. I didn't actually see the full hand, but maybe both blinds didn't have anywhere near as many big blinds as she had. So, like, I don't know if it was, it could have been an open shove. I didn't catch the stacks actually either myself. But now we're looking at Ribbon here under the gun with the jacks. And Ollie here on the button. You missed a sick hand earlier on. I'll tell you about it in a minute. It was was actually 4-way to the flop. Every ace, every queen was out. It was a crazy hand. And the chip leader now, Tobias, you know Tobias Ziegler? He won an 8 million pot with a set of eights.
Yeah, I know Tobias, yeah.
Ollie here with the 10-8 of hearts. Looks like he just flat called, so this is probably going to price Bicknell in the big blind.
Yeah, she's got an ace, so she can tag along for sure. Shemin's obviously just got a nice enough hand. He's in position and he's playing against the recreational businessman. He is a businessman, yes?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I'd assume he is. Now, a wheel draw here for Bicknell. She's always checking here, Ludo. And with the king, the overcard to the jacks, we see the pre-flop raiser, Ribbon. The guy I was speaking to you about, the Russian recreational player, just checking. And now, Ollie here. This is a clear spot for Ollie to take the pot.
175.
I mean, the sizing here is so small.
Well, a pocket jacks is never folding. So always at least calling one and deciding on the turn. Like, I think Shemian here's going to just give this up. This is extremely dangerous. He's got no equity and he's firing against a guy that doesn't have a care in the world for money.
Yes, spot on here. And Shemian will recognise that, and he does shut down. And the 6 on the river.
Great check there. He might decide to try and get him off ace queen or ace jack and just think he's got ace queen or ace jack here and try and get him off it. Try to think how much he thinks he has to bet. He might bet 450 because he might think if he goes 300 it's going to be not enough against this specific opponent. So he might go 450 here.
Problem with Ollie is he's just playing 1.4 million, so it's real high risk stuff.
I would love if he just shoved all in. But obviously, like, it's dangerous. It's extremely
so dangerous. So dangerous.
Like, I don't think what he does here is going to get him to fold, apart from maybe all in. If he's thinking about the sizing, he's probably thinking to himself, I can't go 300 because it's too easy for him to call me. Even though 300 is a kind of like standard spot kind of thing here to try and get off what he wants to get off, like ace jack, ace queen. He's just giving it up.
Just gives up. And the jacks for the Russian. Jacks and 6s with the king kicker will take down the pot. Kristen missed her straight. And the chip leader, Tobias Ziegler, who had pocket 8s in the big hand I'm talking about, and it was opened here from Ollie with ace queen, flat call with eights, and then we had the Austrian Derniger also with ace queen, and then he defended in the small blind, and the big blind defended with ace deuce. Meanwhile, there was a queen 9 folded, okay, and the flop comes down ace 8 rag, and a lead from Ollie, flat from Tobias, flat from Derniger, the ace 2 in fairness folded, and then a queen on the turn. I was
nasty.
It was so sick.
You're done for today. You come
So
back
Ollie bets out again, pretty sizable bet, okay, almost half pot, bit more,
There's still
and then
more
the
left
set
tomorrow,
Tobias, who had them all covered, he jammed then, and Derniger called, who had a similar stack, and then Ollie tank folded. So good fold in the end, top 2.
Yeah, very good fold.
Yeah, but 8 million pot. So definitely the pot of the day for sure at this table. But we've just seen, it's been phenomenal, Ludo, from like the start of the day, the hands we've seen. I mean, straight away, first level, all in and calls, ace king versus queens, and but them loving getting it in.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
It's €100,000 and they're treating it like a £50
Totally,
rebuy.
it's like, right, I'm going to gamble here and try and get a stack.
Yeah,
you know,
insane.
where with the like smaller buy-ins, I mean, even big buy-in tournaments to me, like the thousands and the 5,000s. I mean, you never want to gamble in them spots, like,
I know.
you know.
I'm saying, like, definitely agree.
Not sure what's happening here. Are we coming up to a break? Looks like the blinds have increased to 30,000, 60,000. And just to ask you, Ludo, about your current arrangement. You're representing Party Poker, and they're doing some fantastic things.
For sure, I'm saying, like, they've definitely taken over the live scene for sure. That's them succeeded in doing that. They're holding all their major live events everywhere across the world, and they're very successful, and they're big guarantees, and it's only going to get better.
We were talking about the old days there, Ludo, when we used to go around with the UK IPT and the crack you'd have. Like, it just was the buzz. There was an electricity, and all the Irish lads and English lads and the Europeans, and, you know, just great crack. But Party Poker Live, they seem to have filled that gap now that Poker Stars have left. Like, you know, they're really doing these fun events. And in all the beautiful cities. But just to take it up here, great situation here for our friend, the Russian.
This is the thing. Obviously, Becker knows he's getting out of line, so he has to call, especially against the sizing as well, probably. But, like, it's one of those ones. Let's see if he can hit the flop, which he has done.
Dangerous.
So
up and down straight.
The chips are going to go on here at some point for sure. Whether or not Becker just calls or gets it all in.
1.2 million behind.
That's the thing. If he went like 300k in this flop, he might have just called. But the fact that he's went 450, he probably feels as if he's going to have to just shove all in and get to see the river card. He's also got the Queen of Spades, which is kind of good as well. Like, if he had a wee bit more chips, he could call, but he can't call because once he calls, he's only got 750, which means he's never going to really call and check fold the turn if it comes like a 4 or something. So he needs to just put it in and get to see the river card.
Good analysis by Ludo, and he does exactly that. The German has to put it all in there with such a big bet he's facing. He is up and down, and very much alive here, 37%. But the Russian, Reben, with the aces.
Rom, move all in, Rom. Let's go.
Not sure what the stoppage is here. Now we're going to go.
There it is.
Unbelievable.
Right away, no sweat.
And the aces are dead, right?
Yeah, the aces are just absolutely
going
dead.
to the river.
It would have been a lot more enjoyable if the turn card just came the Jack of Spades. That way you would have maximum outs and we'd still be going in live into the river. Anybody could win.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I think he has 1 or 2 blinds left behind. But who knows? We may see this guy back again. And I would love to see him.
I'm pretty sure we're going to see him again.
He really is a breath of fresh air.
And that's the thing about his image that he's built up. The fact he has been explosive. When he gets the pocket jacks, which he had a few hands ago, and then he gets the pocket aces, he's always going to get action. He's going to get somebody trying to bluff him, or else what happened there was he got extremely unfortunate.
And you could just hear him on the rail, just explaining to his buddies how brutal this game is. I got my aces cracked again. And they're going to encourage him to have a few beers tonight and maybe jump in again tomorrow. You can buy into this event up to the first break tomorrow, which I believe is in and around 3 p.m. Already well over 7 million in the prize pool, and the guarantees for every event have been smashed. So it looks like he has some chips left behind.
He had him well covered. He's still got like a million chips, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So the chip leader, I mean, he's always going to be opening with these type of hands. Jack 10 suited, playing an 8 million stack.
Pocket fours is so nasty here. She just shoved all in for 29 big blinds. Fair enough, it is short-handed, which helps her a lot more. Which is obviously going to get through. I'm saying, like, let's say that was like 7-handed there. That's extremely dangerous.
Very high risk.
The fact that it was 6-handed, you can just about get away with that. 29 big blinds. It's obviously it's a big shove.
And as you rightly pointed out, Ludo, there was the opener and just 4 players to act after. In fact, Ollie had folded, am I right?
Yeah, 3 players to act.
Just 3 players to act. And a question here, Ludo, do you live in Glasgow?
Yes, I do. Yep, I live in Glasgow. I'm there like 4 months of the year.
Okay.
And the other 8 months I'm at different places, and I'm always travelling about.
We'd young Jack Sinclair in the commentary booth earlier on. Actually, yeah, you set us up with him, and he was saying he has an apartment in Malta, but never there.
Yeah, he had a million chips left. He's got ace king of spades here. He's 4-bet. He's 3-bet to 400k, rather than shoving all in, which is fine. Tricky spot for Kristen here, but I expect her to fold. The deuce is no good, even though it's suited. It's just a nasty hand, the deuce. I mean, if it's like ace-8 suited, maybe you could peel. But the deuce is so nasty.
And if she's playing a deeper stack, but she's pretty short here.
I think it's more in the sense if he was playing a deeper stack, not much value behind the left.
I was suited too.
Good point there, Ludo. And yes, Glasgow, what a place. Sucky Hall Street on a Saturday night, Ludo, with a few pints down you. Great, 2 a.m. in the morning, Saturday night.
It's a bomb scare, that Sucky Hall Street. Anything can happen, even on a Wednesday night. It's a famous place, that's for sure.
And Irish or Scottish whiskey recommendations?
I'm not a massive fan of whiskey, but I've had a few Scots whiskies.
But you're not a massive fan of drink, Ludo, to be honest with you.
I love, at this moment in time, I'm loving my gin and tonics.
Okay, G&Ts.
Yeah,
fair enough. You're watching, if you've just come online, you're watching the 100k Super High Roller live from King's Resort. We're coming towards the end of day 1. This is a 3-day event, and we're going to be bringing you all the action. And tomorrow, the main event kicks off. I'm joined by my very good friend and special guest, Ludovic, the party poker pro from Scotland. And Ludo, what's your take on the main event? Do you think it's going to get there with numbers wise?
I'm pretty sure it will. It needs 500. It's 5 million guarantee.
Correct, yeah. They had 520 last year.
Yeah, I think it should be fine, yeah. I just love the fact that they put these guarantees on. That is what you call poker, and that's what you call a true guarantee. When people are actually questioning whether or not it hits the guarantee, that is when it's an actual guarantee.
A really good point. What is the point? Like, say you have a tournament that smashes $1 million every year, just some maybe whatever 1,000 buy-in tournament. You get 1.2, 1.3 million every year, and then you come out and say, "Oh, we guarantee $1 million." That's
What's
not
the
a.
point?
It's ridiculous.
What
I
is
totally
the
get it.
point? It's the
I
most.
totally get it.
It's the most annoying thing
Yeah.
for myself personally in poker. Like, okay, what's been the numbers the last 5 years? They've got 1,200 5 years ago. 4 years ago, they got 1,300.
Yeah.
3 years ago, they got 1,700.
I know.
Last year, they got like 2,300. And this year, they got 4,000. And you know
Yeah.
what? We're going to guarantee it at 2.5 million. Because it's going up the way, not down the way. Give me
Yeah.
peace.
Yeah, no, that really frustrates me, and I think we're completely feeling each other there as we were talking about them guarantees, because as a player, like, you really want to see the operators who are they're getting paid the reg fee, you know, and like, you really do want to see them do their best for the players and give the players value, like, and when it comes to tournaments, players, it's about the numbers, isn't it, Ludo, at the end of the day?
Well, the way that I see it personally, I'm saying, like, obviously I don't have any knowledge of how it works behind the scenes with the guarantees, but me as a person that would actually like to get it lifted off the ground, what Party Poker have done has been absolutely perfecto. I'm saying, like, they're going for it. They're saying, okay, 5 million guarantee, 5k buy-in, we need 1,000 players for this. Now, in my personal opinion, if they get 900 and it's 100 short, it's kind of irrelevant, because the buy-in fees kind of cover the 100 players, or the 80 players, or the 50 players that get short. And it's all about building up the momentum to get the clientele through the door and understand the fact that what they're doing for the game is exactly what is needed for the game.
Totally agree. And we have Ollie here moving in with the threes on the button, 1.2 million. And it'll probably get through, but the only problem, Bicknell has the ace-9 and the big blind, but
yeah, it gets through no problem at all.
I wouldn't say no problem here with this guy, Ludo. Reben, he does like to gamble.
Whoa!
Yeah, there you go.
Well, he's actually made a... Oh, wait, there. He's got the pocket twos. He's in extremely bad shape. But I'm saying, like, I thought this would definitely get through.
I know, yeah. I mean, ordinarily. And I mean, Ollie heard call, and it's the last thing he wanted to hear.
Well, when
he's never in good shape.
When you hear call, you're thinking, okay, give me that 1 in a million chance that he's got pocket twos, and only Ollie can get himself in this situation where the guy's got pocket twos.
That's 100k buy-in. You gotta show no fear in these games,
right?
Ludo,
Come on,
you know.
Ace 3-5.
Someone have deuce?
Ace 3-5.
You have deuce?
No, I didn't have a
He's asking the players, anyone have a deuce? Spades? The spades are covered.
Well, both of them have each other's suits. So the pocket threes were in good shape, spades and diamonds wise.
Oh, deuce is still alive.
It would have been more interesting if the board had paired on the turn. There would have been opportunities.
Maybe you have more.
What a character. I'm absolutely loving this guy.
It's very close.
Fearless.
1305.
He's got him well covered.
Yeah, Ollie.
By over 300,000.
Bit of a soft double there for Ollie.
That's an absolute miracle of a double.
1,305,000.
And let's hope we see this player back in action again. A real good character, good for the game.
GG. Good game.
That's exactly what you want to see on your table. And maybe takes the rest of the night off, because I believe there's only about 10 hands or so left. But opportunity tomorrow perhaps to buy in again. Seat open for just 5-handed, and we're going to get another player. And Ludo, why have you with you? I just want to talk to you about online. We were talking about the big guarantees that Party are doing, but I think they've just gone a bit crazy here with this 20 million. I mean, come on, like
This 20
I
million
think
guarantee is insane.
someone made a mistake, right? It was like, okay, let's do a 2 million guarantee online, which is a savage guarantee, and then obviously there was a clerical error, and it was printed as 20.
And then they just stuck with it.
And then they just says, okay, well, look, we have to save face here. I mean, it's ridiculous.
If they just went something like 10 million guarantee, I think
Yeah.
it would have been good, but I'm saying like they're just going to blow it out the water and just go, you know what we're going to do?
20 million.
We're going to go 20
Yeah.
million guarantee. Like, come and give us some competition.
Yeah, but to give
Oh, is it
to
showing
give
up right
people
now?
perspective on just how that big is, like
Oh, they have the chip.
Poker Stars, who still have the biggest share of the market, the biggest guarantee the biggest prize pool they ever created in their height, in the boom, when they had like
And I'm in this stupid
maybe, I don't know, 70% of the total market share. Now I could be wrong with that figure, but they could have close on that, well over 50%. The biggest prize pool they ever created online was 13 million.
Was that for like the scoop main?
Some main, some
10k scoop
yeah,
main?
something like that, yeah.
Fair enough. But like, well, this one's definitely going to beat the record for sure. 20
Oh yeah,
million
yeah,
guarantee.
oh yeah. I'm sure it will beat the record, but to hit that 20 million, I just can't see it. I can't see it happening.
They need 4,000 players
Yeah, I mean,
at 5k per head.
20 million, and
You're planning to get
what are you
this?
looking at? Top 5 getting at least $1 million.
I think it's top 4 they're guaranteeing millionaires, or maybe it is top 5. I'm not 100% sure. I think I read it's top 4. I should know this, being a party poker pro. I'm going to stick with it then. I'm going to say top 4.
Just in case, yeah. You don't want to be making it up out of your own
Yeah.
pocket.
So they're going to make 4 millionaires at least. And who knows? I'm saying like there could be 6 millionaires after they do a deal or something.
This is it. I mean, it's crazy money. And do you know how long it's been played over? Certainly 2 days, anyways. I know there's loads of flights. There's loads of day 1 flights. But is it 2 days after that, or just day 2 is the final day?
I think it has to be a 3-day
I
event.
think it has to be, yeah. But what we're going to do, maybe over the course of the next few days, if you get a chance, let's get all the details for the viewers, for the punters, because even myself, I don't play online. I'll be honest with you, Ludo, but I want to play that tournament. Do you know what I mean? Why not? Like 20 million.
The next time I come into the booth, I'll have every in and out for this 20 million guaranteed. It's only like 50 days away or something.
I know. It
Maybe-
goes so quick, yeah.
Maybe 45 days away.
Yeah.
So I'm saying like, and you can qualify online for like small amounts of money, from 1 cent to your €5,300 ticket, or $5,300. May I ask? Or may I say? But like, as little as 1 cent. But like realistically, I'm saying like if you want to build your way up, you can miss all the small jumps at the start and dive into like a 109.
109, yeah.
Then
for
the
sure.
109 can get you into the 500.
530,
500 can get
yeah.
you into the 5k. So
Yeah.
like that could be 2 steps.
Interesting situation here. Adipur just applying max pressure to Bicknell here. 1.5. She looked up at the clock, Ludo. Just seeing what the average is, what the situation is.
Wowza. That's a lot of chips. We were talking so much about the 20 million guarantee.
We missed the action,
We missed the action.
but for sure, Kristen opened here, yeah, on the button with the 8-7, and Adipur.
Must have 3-bet pre-flop. Bicknell's called, and then I had the pores went all in on the flop, which kind of like, okay, would you really just spoil
Big
ace?
do you have now?
Another
Would
day.
you really spoil
Another
ace
day for
king
what?
here? And would you really just go all in with jacks or queens? Because there's a king there, you've got to be worried about the king. This doesn't make a lot of
Show me if I
sense.
fold.
But the problem is, it's 100,000.
No, I know.
If you get it wrong, it's 100,000. And even if you get it right and he turns over ace queen, you're still up against it. You could hit one of the aces or the queens. He has a flush draw.
Want me to fold or call?
Sorry?
Want me to fold or call?
Fold.
You want me to fold?
Kristen trying to get info. Not a good idea
Why?
engaging with this girl. She is a
You want
professional on top of her game now at the moment, Ludo. She really is a superior live player.
I actually like his answer there. She asked him, would you want me to call or fold? And he was honest
But I
and
told
said,
you another day.
fold.
Another day for what?
But he could also be saying that because he doesn't want to take her chips. He's maybe like, I don't want to take a lady's chips, just fold. So it's a bit of mind games here.
Just being a gentleman.
There we go. That's why he's saying just being a gentleman. So he's playing that card to try and get.
You're a pretty
You
young
don't want my
lady.
chips
I
or
don't
you
want to
want
take
them?
your chips.
Yeah.
You
So
don't want my chips or you want them?
there we
A
go.
gentleman tell it.
I desperately need them.
You need my chips, okay.
Oh, this is another great
Yeah.
answer. That was a fantastic answer again. He's being honest. He needs your chips. He's being honest. He wants you to fold, but there's a lot of mind games going on. I think she's going to fold as well. I agree with you. Fish fin. Because it's 100,000. Obviously, you shouldn't let that dictate what you want to do. But the problem is, it still is going to make you dictate because it's 100,000.
I mean,
Don't look at my
not to
face.
belittle like thousands or 5k buy-ins or
You should
10K
play the same game.
yeah.
But the problem is
I
sometimes
can
you
see
can't, because 5,000 or 10,000 or
Again.
25,000 is a lot far different towards the 100k. When you start talking about 100k and
Six figures,
250k buy-ins, it's a different ball game. It's actually going to damage you. It's going to make you maybe not sleep that night.
More cards.
I know, that's the thing. I have so much hope for the other two
Yeah.
cards. I have a lot of.
That's another thing as well. Like, she has got an interesting hand. She's got backdoor flush
clubs,
draw,
yeah.
backdoor straight draw. She can make the trips. She can make the two pair. Even if the worst comes to the worst, her equity's not going to be that bad. She's made a good
Calls
call.
after 4 minutes.
Very
Wow.
good call. I thought she was going to fold, and she's found the courage to call.
Wow.
I'm like, if this was a 10k buy-in or a 5k buy-in,
She calls a
she
lot
would
quicker.
have called
Yeah.
not
Alright,
extremely
no more
quick,
cards.
but she would have called after 1 minute.
You said you.
But the fact that it's a big buy and it took her a long time and it took her a lot of courage to go with what she should be going with.
It's a pretty impressive call, Ludo.
But I'm saying, like, it shouldn't change much with the buy-ins, as I was
That's
saying.
the problem.
That is nasty.
Yeah,
That is
the problem.
very nasty.
Still live to the redraw. Needs a 7 or an 8.
That is nasty.
Good luck.
Another day.
It's horrible stuff. Makes the right decision.
She made the perfect decision. The buy-in is what dictates her to
Yeah.
maybe not want to call, but you shouldn't have it that way. You shouldn't factor that into play. But it's obviously hard, as I said. It's
Totally.
very hard.
100,000 buy-in.
100,000 euros.
And a really good game for Kristen Bicknell, the party poker team pro from Canada. What a class act, on top of the ladies rankings for 2 years now, I'm told. And every time I open up the poker news site to get info on that girl, she's just, I mean, it's like she wins a tournament every week, Ludo.
Yeah, she's exceptional. She's very good at the game.
And this guy from Iran originally, Adibur.
He ran away with her money. Iran.
Good one. You're watching the 100,000 super high roller. It really has been entertaining stuff. We're after losing the Russian Rybin, and just now Kristen Bicknell.
She was indeed Supernova Elite for years, for a few years, because she played non-stop Zoom poker
Okay.
online and got so many hands in so fast.
Yeah.
That's what made her the player she is today. At the same time as getting that prestigious Supernova Elite, where, like, if you put the hours in, which is a lot of hours and a lot of dedication, there's a lot of reward at the end of it. It probably gets you about $140,000 in equity at the end of the year, at the same time as how much you're going to make during the process of the year.
So even a
So even
break,
if you break even,
140,000, it's a really sizable salary for anyone.
and to take that away from the players in the way that they did as well, I wasn't too happy about that. Even though I was never anywhere near Supernova Elite, I was still like a consistent Supernova player. It didn't damage me as much as it did the Supernova Elite players, but it's still
Even bigger.
It still annoyed me so much, it pained me.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when it happened, well, like we knew the previous owners, like the Ishai and them, and the way anything they said, they just did, because if they went against the word, it would. I mean, they'd stick a knife in their heart before they'd lie to you. You know what I mean? They were just totally straight people, you know. And when that happened, it was kind of weird. Yeah. You know, it really was. It was strange. But that was only the start, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a bad period of time for poker.
Yeah,
Not
it really
only
was.
when Black Friday came along and just absolutely melted all of us. Not obviously it melted the American players, but at the same time it took away the economy for us European players as well, and it didn't make the game as fun anymore. Like, imagine we were in their shoes and it was Europe that got the Black Friday and they were allowed to continue to play.
Yeah,
I was saying that would still be nasty, which is kind of like, it's basically half the market was gone. America did near enough cover half the market. So it's near enough the same as like Europe getting wiped out and saying, listen, you're not allowed to play poker. And that was nasty when that happened, and then all of a sudden for them not to help out the poker players afterwards, which they had to keep a hold of because it was well needed now, the fact that half the market was gone. Anyway, that's a different story. It still annoys me, and I'm not even American. I'm Scottish.
And that is the voice of Ludo, the party poker team pro, and you're looking at Ollie here. 3-betting. Sorry, it's Ollie 3-betting with the jacks. Becker opened with the king 9, right? Becker opened in the cutoff, king 9, and now a 3-bet.
Yeah.
From Ollie, I think.
And obviously gets the job done. Yeah, obviously Kristen didn't have all of herself in the 100k. I don't know how much she had of herself,
I read
but it's irrelevant. I'm saying you're still going to look at it and think to yourself, and it's going to play on your mind that it's 100,000. And even though it shouldn't change your decision because you still have to play the same strong game that you always play, it still is going to affect you, and that's why it took her probably an extra 3 minutes to make the call, whereas if that was a 5k or a 10k or even a 25k buy-in, she would have come to the conclusion probably 25% of the way in to the 4 minutes, so she would have got there within a minute. But the 3 minutes that took her extra to get there, it was her thinking about, if I'm wrong, it's 100,000. Even though it might not be all her money, it's irrelevant. At that moment in time, she's playing for 100,000. That's the equity stake in the tournament.
Absolutely. Now, some interesting characters here, Ludo. I don't know how familiar you are with these two players, and I'd be straight with you. I'm big fans. You know I like controversial characters, and this, you won't get more controversial than this gentleman.
Martin Cabral.
Yeah.
He is the European Will Kassouf. and today I watched Will Kassouf walked into the building. I said hello to him.
Yes.
So we've got the European and we've got the real McCoy. We've got the Will Kassouf in the building, and now we've got the European Will Kassouf.
But I tell you, Ludo, this guy, he's a real class act. He is a no-limit hold'em specialist. I've watched him many a time, and I mean, I just see him bossing so many tournaments. A real class act, Martin Cabral.
He's got a very good. He can get into the mind of players.
Oh, big time, yeah. I mean, it's all part of his strategy. You know, I mean, every 2 minutes you'll hear him. I mean, what's your exact stack, and move your hands out of the way, and you know, he likes to be table captain. And then we have on the other side here, Vogelsang, you know this gentleman.
I just call him like Volkswagen because I can never pronounce his second name, and I know it begins with like a V.
Yeah.
But this guy obviously is very good at poker. It just annoys me the fact that he takes a bit too long to act. And here's a person here saying should have switched to shot clock if a Volkswagen enters it. I'm saying, like, I like the guy. I'm saying, like, he's a fantastic poker player, but it takes, for somebody that knows what he's going to do, it does take an exceptional amount of time, of wasting that time. It takes an extra 1.5, maybe 2 times the amount that he should do.
We had it from the very start of the day. We had the clock called a couple of times, and it was real interesting stuff, because the player involved, he had a real deep run. Badsikuski, you know, from Belarus.
What's his name? Like Fish 2013 online?
That's him, yeah.
Yeah, he's exceptionally good. He plays short deck as well, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he actually won the short deck here, I think.
Yeah, I seen that he won the 25k short deck, yeah.
He ran very deep in the 25k. He came fourth. We had the final table yesterday. He got 266,000 for fourth. And then he was on the first feature table today. And straight away, now I can't even think of the player that called the clock on him. But he was like really surprised, and he said, "But I wasn't that long." Now we have the benefit of a clock up here, you know, and it was a 2-minute tank, and then the clock was called, and it's like level 1, and it was a pretty straightforward situation. Do you know what I mean? And Batsikowski said then, like, maybe you think because the hand itself took so long, because when the clock was called, he was, say, on the turn or river or whatever, and Batsikowski was making the point, look, I think you made a mistake there calling the clock. He said, I think I was only in the tank for 20 or 30 seconds. So he was just getting so lost with his, you know, concentrating on each street for so long that he didn't even realise he was in the tank for 2 minutes. And the player called the clock, but I think it's one of the biggest issues, the point I'm trying to make, Ludo, it's the biggest issue I see nowadays is, you know, taking, you know, excessive time. But I think in Badzikusky's case, I think it was fair enough, you know what I mean? And he was just brought to his attention, and we did see him, you know, speed up a little bit. But this guy, Martin, I mean, you call the clock on this guy, and he's only going to, you know, it's not going to work out too well for you, you know?
So what's happened here? It's been limped.
Today not so funny. So far, not so funny.
I think this has been limped. So 4 of them in for 60k, and then the anti-60k. So that's 300k in the pot. That's why Cabrel's been able to see a flop with 9-4. And nobody's got anything, which means Cabrel might be able to take a stab at this, because he's going to rep the 5 more often than anyone else.
He has range advantage here in the big blind position for sure.
Yeah, and he can actually, like, I'm saying he's got no equity with the 9-4. Well, he's got 8%, but he shouldn't really have any equity, obviously, looking at that.
And folded around to the button, it looks like. Tobias Ziegler.
This is going to be an easy call for the ace-4. So he's going to force him to have to bluff this river card unless he gets there. I wonder how much he'll bet. 250 if he goes for the bluff. 250.
And I think if he just sneezes here, Ludo.
Yeah, if he just sneezes here, he wins for sure.
Sorry, bro.
I think if he just sneezes, I like that one.
It looks like a big 300,000 bet, but
that's fine. Yeah,
didn't matter.
400.
It's actually 400.
If he just sneezed, he shall take that pot.
We're coming to the latter part of day 1 in this super high roller. Looks like we've hit around 75 entries, and still time for these players. They can register right up to the first break on day 2, and we will announce the prize pool then. And remember, viewers, if you still want to partake in that main event, 10,000 buy-in, multiple opportunities to qualify in live satellites here in King's Resort. 12 noon tomorrow, the main event starts, but we'll be bringing you day 2 of this particular event, the super high roller. And now it's Martin Cabral in the small blind facing an under the gun raise from Becker. So we were just talking about tanking there, Ludo, and the question I was leading up to is, are you in favour of the shot clock being brought in for all these big events?
This is the thing. I don't know, like, it's so tough. I think the shot clock should be there, but it definitely shouldn't be there in certain situations, like, in my personal opinion, when it comes to, like, a main event. So let's say the main event here is 10k. 5 million, guarantee, first prize is going to be 1 million, most likely. Let's say you're going to get a lot of qualifiers that maybe qualify for 109 and all that kind of stuff in there. When it's down to the last 50 players, are you sure you want to be giving them shot clocks and putting the pressure on them when they've never even won 10,000 in a tournament and they've got this seat for 10,000 and they're playing for 1 million? I don't think it's fair. I think all of a sudden, I think it has to be controlled a lot more, and everyone has to be put to the kind of place where everyone has to be a lot more consistent, and maybe the dealer has to play more of an important role and decide.
Yeah.
But the problem is with the dealer, obviously, the dealer can be more favourable towards players because you can get on with dealers in and out of the circle. You can go drinking with them. They could be your friend. You're brought up in the poker community, so maybe there can be some biased spots. So like I can maybe understand that. So maybe if some, like, it's a hard spot, but in my personal opinion, I think the dealers should be given a lot more leeway to actually initiate clocks.
And I think that's the way it seems to be going, because I understand now the floor can call a clock on a player where that wasn't the case. You know, a couple of years ago, it was the players only that called the clock.
Well, from me being a previous dealer, in my personal opinion, the dealer is going to know a lot better than the actual tournament director before the tournament director has gotten to the table, because the dealer has actually physically seen it and seen what's went down, and the dealer's never going to blatantly lie in front of the tournament director when he gets asked or she gets asked
100%.
what has happened here, because it would be stupid for the dealer just to turn around and blatantly lie. Because then all the players would just look at the dealer and just go,
yeah,
well, that didn't happen because it's now 5 of us against you. So, like, the dealer knows best. So you've got to trust in the dealer. If the dealer's got a lot of experience, which they're going to have if it's down to the last 50 players or 100 players with 1 million up top, and when they're playing these kind of tournaments when it's 100k buy-in, every dealer's got a lot of experience. So trust in the dealer and let the dealer make the call.
I totally agree with you, Ludo. And the last thing you want is for a recreational player to qualify for one of these bigger tournaments via online or in a live sat or whatever. Come to the, you know, huge opportunity for them to participate, and then like they're, you know, making a big decision and the next minute the clock is called on them, and you know, it's not right, is it?
It's one of those ones as well. I'm saying, like, you get this is the thing in poker, there's always house rules. Some places still give you the 1 minute when they get the clock called on them. You get the 1 minute countdown. Other places give you 30 seconds now.
Well, I'm in favour of the 30 seconds, to be honest.
Well, I think, like, basically it should be the same rule. If it's 30 seconds or a minute, they should come to an agreement where they pick one. Go down the middle, make it 45 seconds. I don't care. It's the same game.
As long as everyone's on the same page.
If I'm playing tennis in Melbourne and then I go over to, like, Wimbledon to play tennis, it's the same fucking rules. So why change the rules? I don't understand this. It's so silly. I've always said this about poker. The rules are different in different places, whereas it shouldn't be different because it's the same game. It's no limit Texas Hold'em. Why should the rules be different? It's the same fucking game.
You're listening to Ludovic, the Scottish team pro for party poker, and some really good stuff we're hearing here. We're coming to the end of the Day 1 Super High Roller 100,000 buy-in. I understand.
Yeah. Yes.
The prize pool now well over 7 million, I understand.
And also, it will get a lot of people buying in tomorrow. A lot of people that can't be bothered playing a whole day of action.
I was just wondering about that. Like, you know, normally, like, say when these bigger events, they let you buy in up to when the first hand is dealt or whatever. But in this one, it's notable that you can actually buy in up to the first break. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's really tailor-made, this event, isn't it?
It's tailor-made for the people who have a lot of money and have deep pockets. And,
And,
that's the
and
way
precious, and their time is precious.
And their time is precious. They've got too much on their hands, or they don't want to sit there because they're not patient enough. So what they'll do is, I can see 15 people buying in tomorrow with 25 big blinds or whatever it is, 20 big blinds, like not really caring about it just because it's a lot easier to put the chips in.
Nice life. And for yourself, Ludo, I know you play some of these bigger events. How do you feel about these super high roller events? For yourself, that is.
I hope one day I get to play. My biggest buy-in's £25,000. Hopefully one day I'll be able to play a 50k, then I'll be able to play a 100k. But like, until I feel comfortable enough at the sense of how much I want to invest personally myself, I don't want to play this 100k and play 10% of myself. It's just not what I would like to do. Not got anything against it. I'm saying, like, you can play it as a 10k if you wish, and it's nothing against that. It's just the fact that I would rather love to be in there with the thrill of like having 50% of myself or something, and just taking a massive shot. And at this moment in time, I can't take the shot, so I'm not going to participate.
And makes total sense. I mean, as a player, you really want to be motivated, don't you?
And at the same time, my game's not up to the standard it has to be as well to play this event. It's beating some of the players, but it's not beating the good players, and it's not getting close to the good players, which means I can't participate.
And really, that's like, 100% of your decisions have to be spot on, whereas, I don't know. I mean, no matter what kind of good form you're in, I mean, it's rare you get 100% decisions right, but that's what it seems with some of these experts now. It seems that every decision they make is just absolutely spot on.
Yeah, for sure.
The voice you hear on the table is that of Martin Cabral, the Czech multi-winner here in King's Resort. Notable that Martin, he won the World Series of Poker Circuit Player of the Year last year, and again this year he's won it.
Who's this?
Martin Cabral.
He's obviously doing something right.
He's genuinely no Ludo, because I've watched him a few times. He is top quality, like he really is. Now, obviously, he's a bit like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him, and some of his antics really wind people up. But
I was at his table the other day.
Yeah.
So we were playing a €2,200 PLO event like 3 or 4 days ago.
Yeah.
It was the World Series Bracelet event
here.
here.
The 8 Max.
Yeah, the 8 Max. So he was on my left, and it was coming to the end of day one.
Yeah.
And I had pocket aces, single suit, and we both of us didn't have many chips. So I opened the button, and he 3-bet the small blind. And I only had a little bit of chips left behind, and he only had a little bit of chips left, so it would be standard for me just to go all in. Because I know him reasonably well, and I know he likes to chat and he likes to wind people up, I decided to wind him up this time. So I just called.
Brilliant. I love
I
it.
just called with the aces, and that made him think to himself maybe he had the best hand if he had kings or some sort of good ace king. And then the flop came out and he went all in, and I called, obviously.
Yeah.
And he was pretty much in bad shape. But he was like, whoa, you have aces? Why didn't you just go all in pre-flop? And I wanted to make sure of a safe flop. Just winding him up, obviously, knowing that he knows that I'm winding him up.
Brilliant. Vogelsang, winner of the HighRoller Super Bowl. And the information I have, Ludo, is that this is the last hand of the night.
Sorry for not giving you enough analysis in this little stint. Next
Ludo,
time I'm in,
brilliant.
I will give as much analysis as I possibly can.
And I really want to get you back in, Ludo, and keep us in mind. I'm going to message you over the next few days. Obviously, I'm hoping you're going to do well in the main event yourself. But for now, we're going to sign out. It's bye from me, Fintan Gavin. It's bye from my friend and co-commentator, Ludovic.
Thank you for having me.
Back tomorrow, guys, 4 p.m. for day 2 of the Super HighRoller